2.5 years ago, I was praying at my bedside about really just church issues and what was going on in my life. And in that moment, God began showing me snapshots of this church building. I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what it meant. Honestly, I thought that my existing church was going to expand and my excitement was building. I was like, hey, this is what we've been praying for. But I quickly found out that that wasn't it at all, that God was showing me a preview of the future of my life and the people around me. I'm fast forwarding 2 years later. God speaks to me in a prayer season and says, you're going to plant a church in Somerville. If I'm being honest with you, I really didn't know where Somerville was. I knew it was near Charleston, but I didn't know the demographics. I didn't know the story. I didn't know the city. But I began to learn and I began to look into that. But even then, even when God's speaking audibly, I don't know about you, but sometimes I ask God to confirm directly what He's doing in my life. So I prayed. I said, God, speak to me. Speak to someone close to me. God, let me know when it's time to step out. I want to know. I want to be sure. I want to be in the will of God. So I prayed. I said, God, let me know the moment. I prayed it 3 times, very, very specifically. God, let me know when. The next morning, I was at Calvary. We were leading worship. It was an incredible service. The Spirit was moving. People were coming down to the altar. Immediately after that service, one of our councilmen grabbed me by the arm. They come up to me. He says, hey, I've got something to tell you. He said that you're fixing to make a decision that will affect your life forever. He looked back at me and said, Brad, the Spirit of God says it's time to step out. It was in that moment we knew when we began praying and moving the direction to plant Forward Church in Somerville, South Carolina. I remember the first time that it got real to me. I shared this vision with Pastor Jonathan, and we were talking about it. And I remember sitting at his dining room table, writing out vision and writing out what we thought this church was going to be. And it was literally like the Spirit of God began to speak vision and direction into us. What did we want this church to be? What did we want to be known for? What was our DNA going to be? Why do we exist? And why are we even here? Nothing against other churches. We just didn't want another church. We didn't want it to be normal. We didn't want to be just another cliche church in Somerville. God, what can we do? What would you have us do to make us different than anybody else? We said we want people that come to our church to, number one, feel the love of God. That is what makes us different. That is the greatest commandment. That is why we're here. That is why we exist. We need to love people because Jesus loved us, and that is the reason that we can have life. Love is important. We said, God, what else do we want? We said, we want people to encounter God. Once they feel that love and that love draws them into the room, we want them to encounter God in a salvation type experience. That is the pinnacle of the Christian faith. That is why we exist. That is why we're here. That is why we have life, because Jesus gave His, and because Jesus gave His life, we can have life. And the last thing is, we don't want to just leave them with salvation. We want to give them discipleship. How do we carry this thing out? We don't want to just leave you at the altar meeting Jesus. That's great, and that gives you heaven. But what do we do now? How do we carry this faith out? How do we take this God that we're so in love with into all the world? How do we go into the community and share this Jesus over cups of coffee? If I'm being honest and transparent in this video, there are mornings I wake up and I'm like, God, what have we done? Why have we done this? What are we doing? But then I'm reminded, God, you spoke. And I promised you 14 years ago when I gave my life to you, whatever you said and wherever you said go, I would follow. Pray for us daily. Put us on your prayer list. We want to hear from you. If God speaks to you, we want to hear from you. Obviously, finances are a huge part of this journey. I'm leaving from all stability, going into all uncertainty. We need your help. Partner with us financially, whether that be a monthly gift of whatever you can give, or whether that be a large amount that God lays on your heart to sow into us. We need that. We want to connect with you. If you want to give, here's how you do that. You go to forwardchurch.online. Forward Church exists to love people, encounter God, and disciple forward.